Hello again, everyone. I'm Erik Sprowls. I was the director and creator of the college soap opera Neon.
And I'm Jared Shaw. I play Brett Tierney in Neon, a.k.a. the party animal, a.k.a. the stud.
And for the next stud.
Yeah.
And for the next hour, we're going to take you on a bit of a behind-the-scenes commentary on what we did to bring the 5th episode of the mini-series to life. So let's get right into it.
Oh, there's a picture of me.
I'm still trying to get over you saying you're the stud.
What? That's what my character was based on. That's what you told me. I remember.
Yeah.
Specifically. Oh, I missed my name in the credits. Oh.
That is the worst. But at least you'll see mine.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the way, we ended up doing everything that had been Neon with cliffhangers. And, once we saw Laura with bruises, another we saw you getting shot.
Yeah.
That was the last episode. This was the follow-up episode to that one. So somewhere along the way, we ended up doing cliffhangers. And in order for this episode to fly in, get to the meat of things, I wanted to show that cliffhanger last.
Yeah. But on one of the previous things there, it showed the limo scene with the limo, and we shot an alternate scene for that with Erik's car. We couldn't get the limo, we weren't sure if we could do it. I remember shooting that. It was all night. I think we got done at 4 in the morning. We started like 7, so it's something to never be seen.
Yeah, it was bad. We tried to book the limousine 3 different times.
Yeah, it's better to do it just in case.
Each time the limousine just couldn't be there. The one time I got really upset, and I was like, "We're just going to use my car." And we shot it. It never became
that scene right there where you're seeing me drive that car. That's our good friend Grant's, and the brakes weren't actually working on it that day. I remember. I kept on slowly going down the hill, and there I'm sweating to death up in the attic. That was in August, in the middle of the worst heat ever.
Your room was.
If you wanted a sauna, that's the place to go, pretty much, right?
It had to have been at least 100 degrees
and
every time we shot up.
Well, that was the first night of shooting, and it was like, okay, it can't get any worse than this.
I know. In the summertime, it was like, oh my God, it's so hot in this house. And then in the wintertime, it's like, oh my God, it's so cold in this house.
Yeah.
There's no meat.
Yeah, it was black or white.
So this kind of rips up. We're going to begin this right where we left the cliffhanger from last time.
This cliffhanger, I remember after this happened, I got about 5 or 6 calls on my answering machine when I went home.
Really?
They're like, yeah, what happens?
I thought you got killed off.
Yeah, and I said, hey, you're just going to have to watch.
It was decent. This didn't end up. This wasn't supposed to be a cliffhanger. This was just supposed.
But it's a really good cliffhanger,
Yeah. Well, it's all a matter of how you shoot it, I guess. This was just supposed to be a dream sequence where you kind of realize, or Brett realizes, that drugs is not the way character he wanted to go.
Yeah.
We were running out of time, and we shot, and ultimate episodes were starting to be shot a little bit out of order. I said, well, let's do it that way. Otherwise, if I intended that to be a cliffhanger, I think a much better way. Somebody actually suggested the gunshot that you heard would have been Doomer shooting Ed Daniels.
Oh yeah, I remember about that.
Or there were blanks in the gun.
That just scared me.
And he said, next time it won't be.
Yeah, I remember we thought of a whole bunch of different things, like trying to figure out the best way to handle that after that becoming a cliffhanger.
Right here, this is actually the California University marching or jazz ensemble performing this particular song. If you look closely, you'll see a cameo by someone who's in the band in real life. I don't know if it's gone by or not.
And if you look really close, you can find Walden.
Maybe it's already gone by. But if you look close, you open here with the band.
Bill Bennett. And Bill Bennett. Gotta love Bill Bennett. Gotta give him props.
Laura.
Oh, look at these guys.
Who is sitting here in the crowd is actually in the band. That's stock footage from a concert they had done years and years ago. If you look closely, you can find Laura playing the xylophone, I think. Or just there she is in the back, right behind the purple.
Oh, I did not notice that when I
That's
saw
kind
it.
of a neat cameo. I found that as I put that stock footage in there, and no one really noticed that ever.
Well, I'm not looking for it. Now I'm looking for it.
Yeah. And you know what else? Bree, who plays Jen here, was not even there that day that they played the concert. So I think we kind of shot this.
Yeah, it looks good.
Very nice, and it was put together.
Amazing.
The things you don't know about TV, but I guess that's why we're here doing this.
Yeah, well, this scene came up with Dante and Jess right here. I remember me and Jess were down here looking at bloopers for it, and they seemed like they had a really fun time that night, going back and forth and everything.
Another interesting aspect, too, is when you showed Dante and Jess, there are 2 people sitting behind me. You see the one on the right with the camcorder, the one on the left with the sweater. They're the same people in that shot.
Hey!
Except we put a hat on one and we got rid of the camcorder on the other because we didn't have any extras to work with. So we just kept flip-flopping them. You know?
And that's our own Dustin Vine back there behind there, our main crew guy.
After a while in the series, it became a joke to find Dustin.
Yeah.
The guy with the camcorder on the right there.
He probably should get his own credit in the next couple episodes, like as a co-star or something, because he's always popping up.
He is in this, maybe half dozen times, just somewhere scattered throughout the show.
And Bree actually doesn't play an instrument, does she, Eric?
No, not at all.
But she's pulling it off well in that scene.
Extremely well.
Yeah.
She does not play an instrument.
Now, the music playing is not the music they're playing, is it?
No.
Okay.
It's a suite from John Williams, the movie Home Alone.
Yeah.
Who is actually one of my favorite musical composers.
I don't know if I have a scene with Dante in this one. I don't think I do, but a thing we always did when we have close shots where we have to talk to each other that close is we usually try to eat something pretty foul before we shoot the scene, some Italian sub or,
like
or onions or something. And then when we're there, right before Eric will say action, we'll burp and blow it into each other's face and see who breaks first. It's
like there's a story like that about Mel Gibson and Jodie Foster did that.
Yeah. Before they had some big makeout scene, but me and Dante just burping each other's face. It really helped our craft of acting.
And you can see there the extras in the background, how we've switched them. They're the same there, they're the same on Jess's shots, and it's really kind of neat.
Yeah.
This is a good scene between these two because it's the first time that they're having a date, and they're not really in love at this point, and they're not really. They kind of went out as friends, and Jess, they're both extremely talented at what they do. Dante's able to pull off that blind character.
Oh yeah, they were always like when I had to do a scene with them, they were always fun to do. I always could joke around with them and stuff. They always. I had a lot of fun when I had to shoot with them.
And Jess is one of the most talented women I've ever worked with.
She does a great job. She does a great job.
So this is a really touching scene. Dante didn't mean to insult Jess. He meant something completely different, but she took it the wrong way.
And it's interesting because Dante's trying to get with this girl. Mark is trying to get with this girl, and when you're trying to get with a girl, when you might say something wrong, you'll notice like their facial expressions. But with this, he doesn't have that. He just has to go by, talking that alone.
That's real footage from the university choir. We used a lot of stock footage. Of course, this was low budget, so we couldn't afford to have a band come there or a choir actually come and perform. So it's all stock footage shot by CUTV, the university.
You want to talk about the rain that you wanted for this scene?
Yeah, that's a good point. Originally, this particular scene, I love stories that take place in the elements. Snow, rain, that kind of thing. And these two they hook up here eventually in this scene. And I liked it because there was no beauty in the scene. It took place in an alley with garbage and dumpsters and all kinds of other, that something so nice and so loving could be born out of a garbage scene, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And originally I wanted it in the rain. I said, wow, it'd be really pathetic and they'd be both at the bottom of their ropes because, she feels bad because she does get around. He feels bad because they are blind, and they really need each other, and that's the whole beautiful point about these two. And I wanted it to rain, so we hooked up all these hoses this night. We were going to do all these hoses and spray them with rain and make it look like it was raining, but it was about 9 degrees.
2 degrees. Yeah. You can notice their noses getting colder throughout the.
They're turning red, and they had to go out like it was supposed to be winter, but they chose what they wanted to wear, and then all of a sudden a cold front came in.
I mean, you got to hand it. I mean, even the Jess, she's got his skirt on, and oh man,
it really was. It was like that old joke in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with Steve Martin and John Candy, and say, "How cold do you think it is outside?"
1.
and you can see, especially in Jess's nose. Look how red her nose is. Now there might be a time when we'll quit and we'll go inside and we get some hot chocolate and they'll come back out and all of a sudden the redness will be gone. But it was literally 9 degrees, and they said, I got to take my hat off to both of them because they still said, let's go with the rain. And I said, you're crazy. There's no way. I said, no offense, I really admire that. I can't ever forget that, but if you guys get sick, I'd feel bad. Plus, I'd lose shooting time.
Yes. And you were probably talking to them while your hand was frozen to the tripod. Because, man, does that get cold when that's cold outside and you're like, I got to move the shot.
Oh, exactly.
And then you're trying to push buttons and your hands are icicles. But this scene, they really nailed it. I really like this scene with them. I like the scene where the guy and the girl, and they get like in a big fight, but then they come together, and I think they pull off really good.
A lot of in Neon, when we first marketed this show, it wasn't supposed to be a soap opera, but that's the best way to describe it because it's a drama and with comedic undertones told with multiple storylines, and You know, this is one of the first on-screen kisses of the whole series. One thing I'm proud of is there's nothing really dirty about the whole series, but it's supposed to reveal certain things along the way.
Well, didn't Dante try to make this kiss dirty? Was this the night he was
yeah,
like
Dante, I told him, I said, listen, I know you're both friends. You know, just kind of like press your lips together. I totally understand. Dante played a little joke on Jess and, how can I say, put his tongue in her mouth, you know, and she about freaked.
Yeah.
It was a good blooper.
It was funny.
I like it too, because especially when Dante drops his cane and they both sink down to the ground because they've pretty much sunk the lowest that they both can go in the whole series on both her end and his end. And
I think the greatest funny thing about this scene right here is they're trying to get together in this like big romantic thing, and then Ted's in the background. He's got that T-shirt on. It says "Get over it. The ship sank." From Titanic. It was like totally against love or anything like it.
And it's supposed to be this really lovely moment. Then there sits Ted like, what the hell am I looking at? You know,
was Ted there that night?
Yeah, I don't think he was. The funny thing is about this too, you can see, by the way, the redness in Jess's face is long gone.
Ooh, she's getting into it.
But you see a tear come down Dante's face. I really don't. I said, wow, Dante. I said, look at that.
Wow,
see that? I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
That is good.
And it's real. And I said, we didn't have to do like an eyedropper thing or anything. And Dante said, I can't help it. My eyes were frozen open. So, I mean, it was probably because he kept his eyes open.
That was really good.
It was a really good scene.
Yeah.
And very convincing. And I like the medley in the background of John Williams' Christmas music. It's very touching. And it's Christmassy, but it's also very holy. You know, where you have like the choir and the old singing going on, and it kind of brings...
I like that shot right there.
Yeah, it kind of brings things about. That changes the whole mood when you cut to that shot. You know, you go back and forth.
I mean, you really got to handle these guys. I mean, this is a long scene, and they're really stating the character. And to be out in that cold, that late at night, it gets to you. And like, I know when you say cut, Erik, I mean, they'll be upset and everything, but they pull it off good when you say action. Yeah,
exactly. And you know, it was about 10 degrees. I'm not kidding. And we were out there all night. And you know, the things you don't see are me with a parka and long underwear and jeans. This is
an amazing kiss. I think it blows mine out of the water. That's later on in this episode. Not to give it away or anything, but
who do you kiss?
I kissed Jen.
Really?
Yeah. Remember,
I have to flip through my notes on that one.
Awesome crane, awesome crane.
You like the crane? Doesn't it just scream rain or snow?
Yeah. And I have a little story about the crane later on. When I'm laying down and we did the crane for like 5 hours.
Oh yeah. Christmas decorations were fun to put up all the time.
Yeah.
I like this little dissolve here too. I wanted to have a touching moment between Jack and Kim, who are the two star-lost lovers who are totally together but eternally apart. You know.
Kermit the Frog was another big character. Him and Dustin. Kermit the Frog and Dustin would always show up. And
I wanted to have these two on screen at the same time, but you couldn't because they were so miles apart. So we kind of managed it with that.
That scene right there reminds me of like Summer Lovin' from Grease or something. When you see the two of them for a minute, or that one song in Grease where they're both singing each other.
To be honest, don't kill me. I think I saw Grease once, maybe, and it was a long time.
Oh, well, people know what I'm talking about. But let's get to the good stuff. Me. Here we go.
You, of course.
Okay, this temperature was not 9 degrees. I say it was a good 5.5 degrees.
Maybe below zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we had nature on our side this night because we'd have flurries once in a while, and we'd try to get some good shots with it.
Oh, yeah, and there's some beautiful ideas you had. And I'm scrambling along trying to think, okay, do we have everything? We have all continuity. And you're like, hey, how about getting a shot of the snow with the lights? And I said, oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. You'll see that coming up. It's totally Jared's idea. Yeah. Good stuff.
But I remember we were prepared this night. We had the heat on in your car. We had hot chocolate. I think someone actually had some alcohol, but I don't know who that was. But getting stuff warmed up.
You mean rubbing alcohol? I mean,
I don't know anything else about that.
But like this shot,
see the snow right there.
And that was like I said, I wanted a point of view shot. Now this shot
that was right
yours.
At the end, yeah.
And you were picking some good ideas. I said, you know what, that's a good idea. It could be a really beautiful moment. See how nice it looks when you have the elements working with you?
Yeah.
And you go through the whole hubbub of setting up this scene at the football field. And the thing I didn't know about the university is they charge about $2,000 every time those lights are turned on. And I didn't know that. So I have to credit the university too, because we went through some proper channels of getting those lights turned on at night. And what you don't see is, the only reason that they would leave the lights on for us at all is, there was a football game the next day, and the away team had practice at our university that night. So the away team just left the field. They're in the locker room. They had practice at the field, and we went out there and we shot. And we were lucky because they left the lights on for us.
In the background of that shot was Chewy's van, Steve Stavar. We have to give him props because that's where we put all the equipment in the crane to haul up to that field.
Oh, absolutely. He's another guy that worked on crew on this.
Yeah.
So here we are, and this is Jen wants to show Brett for the first time what her big dream is, and she wants to be a drum major. And that's why I like the 50-yard line shot there. Jen wants to be drum major. Bree likes the 50-yard line for some other reason.
This is
I don't know why.
This scene right here, you can tell how cold Bree is. You can really feel for her there. Me, I'm warm as can be. I don't know why.
You're on the ground, probably. All that rubbing alcohol.
But I have to say, like, if the last scene did have raining and this one had snowing, it might not have made as much sense. So maybe that was a good call then, not to have the rain.
Maybe it was a
raining
blessing
one
in
and
disguise.
snowing at the same time.
But it was, I just remember it being so cold.
I remember we cut a lot of lines this night too, because we had a ton of pages, and it was just so cold, and the wind was blowing, and we were not getting good audio, and me and you were talking, we're like, we just got to cut some pages down.
I remember this scene was supposed to take place at the football stadium for a considerable length of time, and half of it we moved to the what they call the wooded area behind the student union. You'll see it coming up later.
And we were supposed to have some of it behind this football field, this picnic area, and we set that up one night, and we had lights on in the background and everything from the other from a baseball field, and this big storm came in, and it just, I remember rushing to get equipment and everything.
Oh yeah.
And then so we changed it around, but I think it worked out good this way.
Well, the bad thing was the football stadium sits on top of a hill, which is about a mile up from the university.
So the wind just,
and with the winds just so with the added 5 degrees and the added wind chill, it was just ridiculous. And that's the thing that you don't see.
I like my stuff there. That's some 80s right there.
I like how you deliver Mr. Roboto.
Mr. Roboto.
Everybody makes fun of me because I'm from the 80s. And, you guys are from what the 90s or the 21st century or whatever.
There I fall over. Oh, great.
Mr. Roboto. So it's a nice little moment between Brett and Jen because she tells him what she wants to do, and that's her dream. She wants to be a music major, direct a band. And you're like, hey, look, you got to get out of this mode. And that's what I like about the Jen and Brett relationship, is the fact that you help add things to her life that help get her on straight, and she helps add things to your life that gets your act on straight. And that's how some of the greatest love stories on tape are shot, when you donate parts to help her and she donates parts to help you, and you both realize it, that you don't even realize that you're helping each other.
Yeah.
And it works out.
I'm not in rhythm here at all.
No, absolutely not. You have none. In fact,
well, there was no music playing. I was just guessing,
well, that's the beauty of the scene too, because you don't know what drum major. You just get up there and dance.
I'm trying to show her, like, I can look like an idiot and I don't care, so don't mind to come up and shake a thing.
Yeah, well, it worked out well too, because the point of the whole situation is, you're just supposed to come up here and have a good time.
I'm trying to do like a Mickey Mouse thing, and Fantasia with the arms there for a little bit. That's a great looking scene though, up at that football field.
Mm-hmm. I love the high shots.
There I'm having a seizure.
Well, the thing is, I remember when I was in college, I was a drum major in the band, in the marching band, and it's hard, but it's fun. And you get up there and you showcase yourself, and that's what you were doing. And
well, that
kind of give a ride
that end where I fall off the thing, we actually did a wide shot at the end. I said, Erik, I'm going to fall off for you. You're the director. I'm going to help you out. And of course, it did not make it, so I guess it wasn't believable enough. But
no, it was. It just wasn't
I injured
funny.
myself, and I cried a lot that night, and it meant nothing to you.
It wasn't as funny as if...
the Santa hat, too. That's in a lot, too. I'm sorry. Continue.
That's a tradition that's gone through every Christmas episode of the soap. And I think there are, 2 or 3 of them that take place around the holidays.
Now, let's see if Grant has the same outfit in the next scene.
Yeah, Grant, who plays Cleve, is notorious for... I'm not wearing the right clothes for the right scenes.
Ted looks great with that hat on.
Oh yeah, you can take him seriously any day. If a girl wears that kind of hat, especially Laura or whoever, it's like, wow, she looks cute with that. When you see Ted Frodes, who plays Jack, with that hat on, and he's got that big hairy face and long hair, you're like, Ted, what are you doing? How can you take that seriously?
Right.
But I like this part because we explore a little bit of mystery of the soap because Laura has taken roses to a graveyard and put them on someone's grave. And Jack happened to follow her, and they're trying to square it away as who that was and what that's all about. And when he mentions it, he kind of does it in a funny little way. I like how he blew the little party favor at the air. That was his idea. You're like, how's that? And she's kind of trying to make an excuse to get out of it. And but I thought that was kind of neat because we don't have a lot of mystery on the soap other than the drug-related storyline with you. And I liked it because a lot of people like Laura and her character because I think out of all the characters on the soap, even male and female, Laura's is probably the strongest in terms of most problems to overcome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Psychological problems, not physical problems.
The way she is. You notice in the background it says hot on the window there, H-O.
Yeah. I think it was because this is supposed to be taking place in winter and it's like summer when we're shooting it, It's so hot in that freaking place.
Oh, man.
Those clips from New Year's Eve were actually, I taped this in 1996. And, which tells you...
That's a classic look there.
I taped them in 1996 and they're like, because we tried to get this soap launched for so long and I just kept them on file and you'll see it's from Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve.
Mary and Dante are great, but they're complete opposite kind of acting people with. I think Mary is is serious when you're acting with her. I remember trying to make her laugh and everything when she was doing her lines, and she, was, what are you doing? I'm trying to do my lines. I'm like, okay. And then I have Dante burping in my face. They have different personalities on the soap, and they have different personalities in real life. So it was a variety of people to work with and everything.
Yeah, you nailed that one. These are two completely different type of actors. Dante is an actor who will say his lines, go with it, and get it done. He doesn't care what happens.
Mary wants to know
Mary's
why.
a method actress.
Yeah.
And
she wants to know why. And
if she's acting and the camera's on her and the camera's not on you and you're supposed to be acting with the scene, if you don't act out your scene, she doesn't feel the part.
Yeah.
She doesn't feel the way it's supposed to be pulled. And putting them together here in this scene is probably one of the few scenes that Mary and Dante or Cindy and Mark have together.
Because I remember acting with Dante at times, he'd do his lines like, okay, I'm leaving, so I'd talk to the wall.
Yeah. Dante could be Mr. Impatient at times. He would literally do his lines and then say, I'm done, goodbye. And then we have to do you who's supposed to have a conversation.
All right, Jared, you're going to talk to this fist.
Yeah, talk to this X on the wall or where Dustin is. Hello.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be Dante because he has no time for it. But they're both good actors.
Oh, yeah.
They just have different ways of more 1996 footage.
Now, is that confetti on there or did you CG?
Oh, no, they put that on there. That was from 96, baby.
Wow. And back to the good stuff again.
This is not really a deserted park. It's shot that way because in the background you see buildings, dormitories, and trees look like they've grown up behind them with a stage there. And we put in the dialogue that it's supposed to be an old stage that people forgot about. This is really the backside of our student union. And there's a stage out there with trees that divide between the dormitories. And I said, well, it looks kind of wooded and all blown over. I said, why don't we just act as though it's some kind of secluded place? Because that's what we wanted with you two in your scene.
I remember doing the voiceover for that beginning scene where we're walking. I remember we talked on the camera. That was close to the end of the night, and I think both of our faces and tongues were pretty numb. So I think we had to do that a couple of times.
Yeah, this was another cold night.
And this night, it's very well edited. I think it was 3 or 4 nights this whole scene takes place over. And we would do a page or two, and we go inside and we get warmed up and we go right back at it.
The lighting would change all the time. I think there's one point you can tell that the lighting will change in this. And this is where Jenna reveals...
That was tough lighting to do because we had to get plugs from inside.
And basically it was you, Bree, me, and Dustin.
And
and we had to light this whole thing up ourselves. And I think for what we had, it came out to be pretty good. It still looks like it's nighttime, and we still have that.
Well, the problem with something like this is it's by the union, so people are coming by all the time. And you think they just stand there and watch, from behind the camera and the lights and everything, but no. They all have to yell and say hi, and which we're doing many takes, which got us all very annoyed.
Yeah, some of the best bloopers were this night, too.
Yeah. We're like, hey, can I be on TV? I'm like, sure, come over. You can take my spot. I'm going to go inside, get warmed up. Well, all right. Hey, I just flipped off the camera. Does that mean I'm going to be on TV? I don't know.
Some obscenities. Hell, damn. Hey, can I be on TV? I did it right. No, yeah.
But the worst was in the other episode when I was in the Santa outfit and I had a bunch of drunken people yelling at me. I thought I was going to be hung.
Oh, yeah. That was.
Hey, Santa.
Hey, Santa.
So this was nothing. This was mashed potatoes and gravy compared to being in the Santa suit.
Oh, yeah, you in the Santa suit. There's nothing better than when you're shooting at night, so it's black outside, putting lights all over you, and you're in a big, bright red Santa suit in the middle of October, because that just says, hi, I'm a target, make fun of me.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did, you know? And, of course, I loved that jacket because you had that Indiana Jones brown leather jacket on.
Uh-huh.
And this is the scene where Jen reveals that she's has a bit of a past to her. She's not really the naive girl that you think. She was a stripper in the past.
Let's have the look and everything.
And you're kind of like, oh, really? And
we added this in, I remember, the cell phone thing. Because I had to go grab some stuff from the car.
Well, the scene goes on for quite some time, and originally it was not supposed to. Like I said, you know, somebody may look at me and say, well, you know, the pacing is horrible in this because it is so long. But like I said, all of this dialogue you're hearing, half of it was supposed to take place at the football stadium, but it was just so cold to shoot.
Yeah.
We said, no.
And I think we pulled it off well. I think we pulled it off very well. I like watching myself, but hey, that's me.
You know, it's just, you know, I'll look at it and I'm saying, well, you know, there is a bit of problems with pacing, and you try to figure out how can we break it up. So the cell phone idea came up, and we said, okay, let's add the cell phone to take a breath from all this information and go, okay, well then he'll bring dinner over, okay? And then we'll maybe change it with, you know, where you do the shotgunning the Pepsi.
And I thought it was kind of harsh with Jen there when she was like, when her boyfriend was like, who you with? And she's like, nobody. And my poor character is just trying so hard. And
yeah, you're trying so hard because you are so interested in her, and she's devoted. You know, she's devoted to her boyfriend. She's supposed to be engaged. But this is an important scene because you start to realize what a real prick her boyfriend is. You know, real pansy kind of. You know, she's nothing against vegetarians, of course. You know, Jess and I had this conversation during the commentary for part 3, but you know,
oh, look at that funny look.
She's like all vegetarian. She's all. You know, we don't drink carbonated beverages. You know, and you're like, you're missing out on all the fun in life.
Yeah.
You know, life is uncertain. Eat dessert first.
I think I ate a lot of those burgers that night to try to get in this character mode.
And that's the good thing about your character. Your character's supposed to be the fun character, and this actually I thought was the first boundary that your character does. It manages to break to win her over.
Yeah.
And this was all ad lib on your part, with the leep, 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 leep. And I loved it. And I said, okay, that's a good way to win her over, and it works. So right now you make a bit of a dent in that tough exterior.
I'm trying hard.
If you manage to break a vegetarian and get her to eat meat,
that's like
that's big time.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, okay, you just scored major.
Yeah.
You know. And she's like, that is good. You know, all right, now you're probably thinking, all right, I'm going to score.
Yeah. I'm thinking, I got to eat meat. What else can I make her do?
I'm off to the races now.
Yes. I get a little carried away there about the mayonnaise and stuff.
Yeah, and I like the conversation. You two have good reaction shots between the of you.
More superior than, well, it's just,
That's good timing. I like that. It's just,
Now this, I am very proud. This is one of my most proud scenes because cold as it was, I'm like, hey, I got to do this.
I got to be honest with you. That was a blooper.
Yeah.
But you kept on going.
Yeah, I'm a trooper.
Let's keep it.
I couldn't, you know.
If you notice, Bree laughs pretty damn hard in this scene. You got it all
That's
over your
going on down. Look at me.
jacket.
I'm soaked. It's in my eye. Oh, and here comes the awesome.
Now that's beautiful. I mean, you rival.
Look how sexy I look right there. How could you not fall in love with me?
You got that Belushi look going, I'm telling you.
You know. And notice how I'm dried up real quick with one.
Well, you got the napkin. You know, but the thing is, the thing I admired about that is you didn't expect it to blow up. It blew up in your face, and it was a blooper, and I was going to yell cut, but you kept on going. She was laughing, and I said,
well, it's good, you know.
You know, you're like, I know you had to been thinking, I just got it over my jacket. I'm not stopping. You know, and it was good you did, and it was fun. You have some good looks to you. Yeah, you have some good.
Did she talk about the sugarless Jello yet? Meeting him with sugar Jello, or is that?
Oh yeah, that was a couple episodes ago.
Oh,
they talked about the sugarless Jello. Isn't that like that's
that.
what Jess and I were talking about? He's a completely boring character. Now, that's good. That was ad lib on your part too. Ring ring.
Yeah, we were doing these scenes for so long. And you do them so many times. We just started, adding stuff because it's fun, I mean, we really had fun these nights, even though we were out late and people were yelling obscenities at us. We had fun.
Oh yeah.
It's a guy thing. Not many women can do, what men do. Obviously.
Now that's a nice little challenge you've given her. It's self-induced.
Don't think.
You're like,
Fate of the human
you try to disguise it by saying, "Well, I didn't mean anything," but it's true.
Yeah.
or not, a male or
Oh, I just remember eating those burgers, and I remember you might be able to see the cut, but the next night we didn't have hamburgers. We just had hot dog buns, and we wrapped them up in paper. We were pretending we were eating hamburgers.
Oh yeah, I mean, you'll see. I think the Pepsi Light can appears and reappears a few times too. And see,
'cause
not
we had
only
so
have you
much
made a
stuff on this
dent
thing.
in her rawhide exterior, now you've made two. Now you got her doing something she doesn't really want to do.
Yeah.
I can see the light.
I'm moving right along here,
Yeah, you're doing pretty good.
I had this line coming up. I don't know why, but I had a lot of trouble. I remember I did this one a lot.
Which one is that?
I can do this.
The whole opening the can, putting it in your mouth, it's gonna hit the fan, yada yada yada. I don't know why I just couldn't get that done, And me and Bree have this problem once in a while too, when we have to look each other in the eyes like some long stare of love, which will be coming up soon. We tend to laugh. One of us will break, and then we're done for at least a half hour. Which, I mean, it annoys ourselves, but
Well, it's fun.
it annoys everybody else, but it's part of the fun.
Yeah, and it's nice too because you guys feel comfortable enough. Now Bree wasn't quite the trooper.
Yeah.
She didn't blow that up in her face. A couple sound effects. The big.
Well, why
the
would
big
you
wide
after you
eyes.
saw what happened to me?
It was.
Why would you?
It was a huge disaster. I don't think anybody can really blame her.
Yeah. Like, I'm not doing what that idiot did.
But
And look at her nose, how cold she is already.
The fate of the universe has now been decided.
I roll.
Here comes a big. Oh,
the big
Brett's
hug.
getting some loving. And there's one of the.
see,
Yeah,
you've
we
done it
cracked up a
now.
lot there.
Yeah, you made a couple dents in her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, how you doing?"
I know what I'm doing.
That was nice. Some of the best pauses in the world are the best love stories told. And Bree actually mentioned to me, she's the one that actually provided advice to me. She said the best love stories in the world are the ones where two people look at each other and nothing's said. And if the chemistry's there, you know it and you can't describe it. And that's what we tried to do there. You can't pause enough during a love scene.
Yeah.
And she's right. She provided some good insight on that.
I'm serious. You really got my mind of a lot of things.
See? And she's expressing how we're friends, and, old Brett there wants something more, but now he's starting to do the old swooning here, trying to woo her.
This was pretty harsh, too.
And in other episodes, you see Brett with a lot of girls come up to him, and old girlfriends and everything. And this right here might think, how in the world does he get those girls when he says lines like this right here?
And they buy it. That's what makes that's what separates Jen from the rest. She's like, really? And you're like, oh yeah, like
the stars. And I remember you had some whole paragraph written out for that. I'm like, dude, I don't even understand this. And you're like, you just go say something about the stars. Do I mention Flash? There we go.
There you go. There you go.
Totally 80s.
Totally 80s Flashdance. And that's supposed to be.
I'm a connoisseur of the 80s movies. That's Erik Sprowls inhibiting me right there.
I remember when we watched this, we premiered this episode, Dante Morelli laughed so hard. He's like, oh my God, that's great, because everyone makes fun of Erik Sprowls because he loves 80s movies. Well, they're good 80s movies,
Yeah.
You can't make fun of that. So.
Yeah, you can.
All right, well, okay, a little bit. But, this is the first time that you actually start to say, hey, listen,
Grab the blanket, boy. There you go.
I'd like to be your coach, and I'm following you around, and can I help you coach through your drum major tryouts,
And I
And
grab the
she's like,
blanket, and
yeah, sure.
and I'm like, whoops, tripped, blanket down. There we go.
There you go.
there
Did
we
I do
go.
that?
I think that was another voiceover right there. Probably yes.
Oh, I think they all are.
Yeah.
Worked for her?
Yeah, I got her the part.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
What am I getting? Oh,
You'd like to get the food or something.
That's right. See, that right there is hot dog bun. I see. We were so good. I didn't even notice when the hot dog bun came in.
Oh, the food's changed 5 times, Jared.
Yeah. Well, I'm just so engrossed in this, Erik. And there's the car in the background, as you can see. That is actually my car.
We never missed a beat. Yep, that was supposed to be your car.
That's I remember that was hard getting up there to the Union. There's like one little place you get up at.
That is your car in real life.
Yes, it is. It never really belonged to Yancey Thigpen, though.
Tell me, Brett.
What's that?
I'm like, what can I grab to get this going?
That's
right.
There you go. You're a good person, Brett.
What's on your mind?
Yeah.
You sexist pig.
You're firing on all cylinders.
Hot dog bun.
Yeah, you're pretty much in now.
I'm there. I'm laying down beside. I got it in. She's not thinking anything of it. She's.
And the crane's nice.
You know, right there, you're thinking I'm listening to her, but really I'm thinking, what's my next move?
Like any guy, you know. What's my next move? Let's see. Cheeseburgers. I got her converted. I got her saying that I'm nice. Okay.
And also, I was always making sure in the shot that my gut wasn't hanging out.
Yeah.
Like Erik, when Erik would go up the crane, I'm like, Erik, just make sure my shirt isn't up, my gut's hanging out, because that's something no one needs to see.
Oh, something else too.
And look, there I am with the grapes. I'm like
the cherry on the top.
I'm like James Bond. I always got everything. I'm like Batman with the belt. Exactly. You need it, I got it.
And you've done a wonderful job. You've made all the right moves. You haven't done anything bad yet. And
this is funny. This little cell phone thing we brought back.
Yeah.
And. And the little Erik Sprowls joke right there. And that's Bree's actual cell phone for you people at home playing the trivia game.
That's right, the trivia version. There will be a trivia version on the DVD.
That's a really nice crane. That almost looks really high. I didn't know the crane could go that high almost.
Well, it is. It's very high. It's probably about 2 stories in that shot. But that seems nice because, she's discovering things about you, you're discovering things about her, you're starting to build on things, and when she turns it around and says, oh, it's ring ring, it's the 80s, it's for you, that's a line you used on her.
Yeah.
So you're starting to mesh in each other's lives.
I'm adapting her. And the house looked really scary in that shot there.
Hitchcock.
And this attic is spooky. I remember Erik would always play jokes on me because there's always holes in the wall and everything. He'd be like, what, do you hear that? You hear that? And I always thought a raccoon was going to come out and bite me or something. And give me rabies.
A raccoon or a bat.
It was freaky up there, and it's like someone was downstairs and shut the lights off on you.
And of course, this is where we go back and we kind of finish off the cliffhanger that we had from the last episode. And
he was great.
Everything you've seen so far has taken place 24 hours earlier. And like I said earlier, there were several ways we could have ended this. A lot of people had ideas. When he pulls the gun on you and points in your face, and you hear a kablam, was it his gun going off? Are you really dead? And people had some good ideas. They said, well, maybe Doomer came back up the stairs, played by Irving Smith there, and shot Barton there before he could shoot you. Or there were blanks in the gun, and he was just kidding around. Says next time it won't be, it'll be loaded for real.
Yeah.
But
I want to also say the first night of shooting, I was with Ed, who plays Barton in Doom or Irving, and I never met them for the first night, and I had a really fun time with them. We all had a good time. We all became good friends, and I even did a movie, and I had them both in it because I just really liked them, and they did a great job. And here's the pig.
I love
Ed does that great. And he is a really good guy, not only when he's acting, but he was always helping on the set, too, when he was there. He stayed there until, even if he was done, he stayed there until it was time to be, until everything was torn down.
And now what?
What happens?
It's a cheap way out.
Oh, there I am.
You're awake. It was old.
Well, as long as you don't see any boogers up my nose in that shot, I think it's pretty cool.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be a cliffhanger. It was supposed to be meant just as a dream sequence. And I remember somebody once said...
Booger?
Yeah. And I remember there was somebody once, in fact, I think it was maybe my boss or something, said, that lasted too long. You should have just shot him. You should have just shot him.
Good. Bree's looking for a stick of gum right here. She's not filling me up.
Half the suspense is in the suspension. It's the suspense itself. And
of course, if I could just name the times this has happened to me. And there's our big kiss scene. I think Dante's
the first time you guys.
better.
Was this the first time you guys kissed?
I think it was the second time, but we were still nervous, but not as nervous because our faces were both pretty numb, so we really couldn't feel anything.
Now you've blown it. Okay, you had to make the cheapo shot, didn't you?
I didn't. Hey, I was just laying there, but you know what? That's how it usually goes. The guy just does nothing, and then something. The wind changes course, man.
Yeah, guys are totally innocent, right?
Yeah.
You were doing all the right things too. You had her where you wanted her, And
that's just the way it goes.
She was wrapping herself around you all nice and curly warm.
Now she's still in my jacket. Give me back my Indiana Jones jacket.
I didn't mean to.
I like the ultimate insult. Now you cut to a close-up and she's like, wait a second. This whole thing was a big friggin' act.
Oh, no.
You
It's
con
all
artist.
downhill. I was up and now I'm going down.
You son of a bitch.
Oh, she even curses at me.
Hit on me?
Right in your face, too.
That
with
was
the
a
jacket.
good. She nailed that.
I thought you were my friend.
Did she throw it or did someone throw that off the set?
I think that was her.
Okay.
She did a good job with that.
I think she enjoyed that. She wanted to keep on doing that over again. She said, Eric, I didn't nail it that time. I'll do it again.
I want to shake him a little
I
bit,
like
too.
this right here where she grabs a hold of me. She does a really good job with this line. I'm really enjoying it. I'm like, ooh, she's a feisty little one.
I like how she delivered it, too.
She
because
almost needed me
you ever
right
get so
there, too.
mad? You ever get so mad you don't know what to say?
Yeah. I really like this scene right here where we yell at each other. I like when the two people trying to get together have a big fight scene. I think it's funny. I think we pull off good. We do that great, wonderful thing. We do it another time too.
Kind of made me think of Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks there for a while, having an argument, you know, and it's supposed
I
to be
actually called him up. I'm like, Tom, how would you handle this? And
That's
he
what
told
Meg said
me.
when she called me. She
Yeah.
says, there's a guy who keeps calling from your set that keeps pestering us. Will you please find out who it is? And this is a good scene
The
between you.
look.
I think that your look here is really good. It's an important scene, too. And she ain't turning around for the world. So
The lighting is just really good in this scene too. Like the car looks good, and I even look all right there. I will admit, since you won't, I will.
Well, yeah, I'm glad one of us had the balls to.
Yeah.
But
And now I'm picking up this. I'm like, yeah.
Everything now.
Now this is a
everything's
total
going downhill.
different night right here. You won't know it when you watch it, but now that I'm saying it, you'll know it.
Yeah.
So this is a totally different night.
You struck out. You've hit rock bottom.
So that's how I do my
You
dishes
went
at
out.
home.
You did the dinner thing. You took her up to someplace
I
secluded.
did it. I pulled out all the Brett Tierney moves.
And you got her grapes. What else can you ask for?
I know. And I got the old shaftaruity. I mean, I belched in front of her. I was pulling out all the stops. In this shot, I love this shot. It took a while. We did this before everybody else showed up for the big fight scene. We had an hour ahead, you know, before everybody showed up, and we worked on that for the whole hour, and it turned out great.
And you'd said that your car was a lot, and of course it's not.
Yeah.
And there goes your cell phone. Should you answer that?
No, I shut it off. I'm too into this. I was saying about that, and I forgot to shut it off.
You know how
Let
it
me just
is.
say right there where I got kneed in the gut. Yeah, that's real people.
And then-
that dude
and then-
really got into it, and he kept on kneeing me in the gut. But
And then the guy on the right, his cell phone went off.
And JP here, he does a great job, and he's
Check and
supposed to be
make sure mine didn't go off.
he's so mean in this scene. But I had the biggest hard time like not laughing because I just know how he is, and he's such a nice guy, and I just took everything not to laugh.
Oh, again with the knee. Yeah, the good thing about JP and Ed Daniels, who played Barton and Michael Ackerman, they're really nice guys, and they act so evil and are so believable. They're wearing black, of course, that helps, and they got the
Yeah.
scruff, and you're the clean-shaven guy,
Yeah.
and they got their henchmen around, but they do a real good job, and he does a really good job with his knife.
And I remember one time he got up close and he's like, well then, what do you want to do? And I'm like, well then let's dance. And we all broke out in a musical number of Michael Jackson going,
Yeah, I remember that. You pulled a little blooper on
We
me.
had fun. We had fun because these guys just showed up. Ted got him or something. There was other two guys, and it was a long night, and we had to choreograph this. And everybody was, everybody kept their spirits up the whole night. And there's my big Jackie Chan kick. Nothing like a fat guy kicking. West Side Story move right there.
Oh, now you've done it. JP's gone and
Uh-oh.
spilled Hershey syrup on your shirt. I love the crane shot. I love the looks. This was just a really good scene. Your death scene with your gasping for air.
If you're tuning in, I've been stabbed. I'm not constipated. I think you can get this mixed up. See?
And I like the camera kind of twists around like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
This wasn't the fight between you and Mark and Ted, that was lighthearted and
Yeah.
fun. And suddenly, it was a fight for real. So when the camera kind of twists around there, it's like, hey, you know what? It ain't supposed to be the Three Musketeers anymore.
Right.
And it's serious stuff. And I think everybody in that scene pulled it off. And it happened. It's neat that it happened at midnight on New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Now, did this actually take place? Did this happen on New Year's, right? Or didn't you shoot that New Year's?
No, this happened on New Year's.
Oh, it did happen on New
Oh,
Year's?
yeah.
I heard the rumor. I wasn't invited to the party.
Well, we had heard that you were doing a gig down in Florida, MGM. But I didn't know. I tried calling your cell. I talked to your chauffeur.
I like to add in the background that Christmas tree. That's actually your Christmas tree, right, Eric?
In real life, yeah.
Well, a lot of those posters
Christmas
are
tree.
and stuff, but I know that was your Christmas tree. You sacrificed your Christmas tree, and we all appreciated it.
I think that's everybody hated that Christmas tree because after a while they had to put it up all the time. And it's not like any other normal Christmas tree where you just go doot, 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 doot. It comes in levels, and when you turn the level over, it falls apart, and it was just a big, huge pain in the.
Happy New Year.
So the irony here is everybody's having a good time celebrating New Year's. Hey, it's together and friends, and you're dying out in the middle of an open field.
Yeah, I had to add, like, people have the beer bottles, and those beer bottles were there for months. And it was like, okay, you need to take a swig out of it, and you have to put, like, water in it, and just to drink out of those would be nasty. I know Ted always did it. I was like, oh, look at this. Great acting.
I like how
how did you do that?
I changed the pitch on it.
Oh, did you? Mm-hmm. That was interesting. I always want to ask you that. And I'm like, where did all this Hershey syrup come from?
No. And then, they change the pitch on the music. So you revert to slow-mo. You add a little bit of heartbeat, and of course, your supreme acting.
You get the slow-mo, and you get the slow music, and you get, your money then.
And then you roll on over.
I had a line here where I fell on my keys. I went, oh, my keys, but Eric just thought it would lose the tone if I said that.
Well, I think the tension was more what I was going for, and I think the keys probably.
Oh, my keys wasn't working.
The knife belonged to that we used. That if you remember seeing it, it was what, a good 6-7 inches.
Oh yeah,
it was like this is not a knife. That's a knife kind of deal. It belonged to Matt Conrad, who played Clayton Booth in episode 1. You'll see him later on in future episodes. Who was the gentleman who whisked Kim away to New York?
See, I mean, what a night my night has turned out to be. I was so close to getting with the girl, and now look at me.
Yep, you're left for dead.
It's New Year's. I'm leaving to get a kiss on New Year's. I'm left for dead.
I really liked in that previous
everybody's
scene.
having a good old time.
I really liked in that previous scene too, how your breath was coming out there.
Oh,
it's like your last breath.
That was a CG. That was my breath.
Yeah, kind of like how we felt at the end of Real Day of Neon.
Yeah. That was that. It was really cold that night, and it was like mucky, and it rained, and everybody was, the usual. Hey, what are you doing over there? And we have this crane shot at the end, and it just. It took a long time, but I knew it was going to be a good shot.
About 3 a.m. It's about 3 degrees, and this is about the 30th take we've done this, and you're laying in a pile.
But I know what I know what you're trying to pull off, and I knew it was going to be a great shot. So you just gotta, take one for the team.
And you did too, and all the continuity's right too. The doors open.
I made sure my shirt was down there again, so my gut wasn't showing. Yeah, the doors open. That's good continuity. I think my car wouldn't start up after that. That's cool.
And that is your car, by the way.
Yes, it is.
We did mention that. So there's your cliffhanger for this episode.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
The good thing about it was, in the last episode you got killed. So in this one, who would think you're going to get killed again?
Yeah,
but
that was kind of a.
We left it like you really did.
Yeah. Do you really think?
On an all-new.
And then, by the way, it's not a dream. So I mean, it did happen. So
do I die or what goes on?
Well, remember the pink slip you got in the mail?
I never got anything.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
I want to compliment them on the scene, Mary and Michael Slavin. I think I was uncomfortable kissing Bree, but that right there, the tension between them, that's very impressive.
Oh, absolutely.
To handle that.
That's a beautiful theater too that we shot in. It's the State Theater in Uniontown. It kind of has that New York kind of feel of a small theater. And of course, the campus medical center here at the university. Doubles as our hospital, and I don't know what JP was thinking there with his hair. I mean, he had little bow ties or something.
You could think he was on crack then or something. I remember when we shot that; it was really cold too.
What, on the steps there?
Yeah,
fast
that was cold.
And there you have it.
Who did this here? This neon thing.
The neon graphic, believe it or not, was done by Ed Daniels, who plays David Barton, the guy who shot you in the last episode.
Oh, very cool.
He has his own effects studio at his house, and he did it.
I did not know that. It's very interesting.
And I always put that little dedication in every episode because I like to dedicate every episode to the friends I had in college. In fact, I showed them these episodes, and it brings back a lot of memories that they have. A lot of people are confused. They think this was a self-biography, and it was not. These are original characters. These are not people that I knew. And a lot of people say, so these are friends. I'm like, no. I said it's just a dedication to those friends because a lot of stories or ideas or characterizations of those people came from people I knew in college.
I'm the 7th one down. My name is number 7 down.
Well, your name's
in the list.
your name's Shao with an S. If it was, if it was
Shao,
if it was Jared Anderson, you would have been first.
I had to admit, say Dustin Devine when he was on the set and we did those crane shots tonight with the coal and how cold it was, and that crane is huge, and he would always have to lug it up and set it up and everything, and I got to hand it to him because that thing is a pain in the butt and it's cold.
And he'd do it by himself, too.
Yeah, he would. It was amazing. And I really like the song at the end. I tell you what, after watching every one of these episodes and you hear the song, you're like, okay, I'm ready to shoot. This would motivate you to shoot something else.
You like the song?
Well, I mean, for 80s music. I never really put it, but I just want to say it's enjoyable watching this because of all the
hates this song.
All the hard work you put into something like this, and to watch the final product, it really makes you feel good, and I think that's the big payoff right there.
Yeah, I think so too. And by the way, it says catering services provided by the Mr. and Mrs. Sprowls Cookie Company. That's a real thing. That's not a gag. My mother and my father would make dozens of chocolate chip cookies and bring them down to the set and let us eat them.
When we were at our wits' end and we thought that was it, we're done, cookies would show up and we would survive another 2 days.
And it'd keep everybody motivated. Motivation is such a big thing when you're making one of these things. It's like, everybody has a whole life they want to live and they want to go out and they have studies to do or fraternity work or band work.
And it was really tough shooting all these episodes first before starting to see them. So it was just, you weren't getting to see your finished product for a long time, so it was a tough thing for Erik to do as the director to keep us motivated for that long, and I think he did a pretty damn good job at it.
Well, thank you. And I think, it's only because you guys, if you guys wouldn't have been half the cast that you were, I mean, I would have quit this a long time ago.
Oh, start, Erik, start.
So let's quit thanking each other. We gotta get out of here.
Thank
almost
you for
over.
watching. Goodbye.
See you next time.
Adios.
And keep watching in Neon. Maybe we'll bring you back and do another one.
Yeah. Okay.
Take care. We'll see you.
You wanna get something to eat?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too.
You'd think that was one of your senses gone, the others would become more acute and you'd say the right thing.
Speech is in a sense.
Whatever! You'd think that was one of your senses gone, the others would become more acute and you'd say the right thing.
Speech is in a sense.
Whatever!